Hey everyone, in this video, we will be using OBS Studio to live stream and record on an all AMD system by request. There are many guides out there for streaming, but a lot of them are users using NVIDIA graphics cards. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to stream to Twitch and YouTube and record your desktop and gameplay specifically on an AMD GPU. We will continue using the Linux Mint install that I have recently uploaded videos of. You shouldn't worry too much if you're on a different distribution, as this should function identically. This is exactly the same setup that I use on my Fedora system. There will be a few items that may be different based on distro, but I will point it out when necessary. The first thing we need to do is get OBS onto our system. Now there are multiple ways to get this. Looking at our package manager in Mint, we can see two packages. One of them is a system package provided by the Linux Mint team, while the other is a Flatpak package provided by the OBS Studio developers. The Flatpak package is the more up-to-date app for us to get, as it is packaged by the OBS Studio devs to run universally across all Linux distros. Let's go ahead and click install. With OBS Studio installed, let's go ahead and check out the optional components. You will also be able to find something like this on the KDE Discover app or the GNOME software store. This is a list of a lot of plugins that have been curated to work with your Flatpak OBS. Take a look at this menu, look around, and pick what you might like. But we're going to need one thing for this tutorial. We're going to use the OBS VK Capture plugin. Let's go ahead and open OBS Studio. Now, at first you'll be greeted with the auto config wizard. We can go ahead and close out of this, and we can bring this back at a later time. If you ever need to use the wizard, just go to Tools and click on Auto Configuration Wizard, and it will bring the menu right back. Before we set up to start streaming, there's one important thing you should do. You should definitely check out what your internet speeds are. Now, I went ahead and ran a speed test in my area. The more important thing we should look at is our upload speed. When we're going to live stream to either YouTube or Twitch, this needs to be sufficient. In my case, I have 41 megabits here. This is a lot. However, in many cases, I see that people would have about 6, 7, 8, even 5 in some rare cases. Now, as to not confuse many people, what I like to say is whatever number this is, just add 3 zeros and that'll be your cap, because we're working in kilobits per second in OBS Studio. First, I want to show you the Twitch broadcasting guidelines. I'll have this page linked below. This is going to give us just some basic information as to how to start up and set up a stream. We can take a look at some of the information that they have posted here, and I'd like to say that some of this is what's recommended. Now, there are other hard caps that are in place. For instance, here they recommend a maximum audio bit rate of 160 kbps. However, you can do double that. But for now, we're going to stick with the recommended. And even here, you can see that NVIDIA and X264 are shown and nothing to do with AMD. And we're going to help with that. The one thing we're going to do is get a quick baseline. If you're an affiliate or a non-partnered Twitch streamer, you are hard capped at 6000 kbps upload. Now, I know that there are guides out there that tell you you can do more. However, that may come with some diminishing returns. Basically, if you're streaming outside of the guideline, which can restrict certain features such as transcoding. You may also want to take into consideration your viewers' viewing experience. If you're streaming at 1080p and your channel does not have transcoding enabled, then somebody who may be watching your channel on a mobile device may experience a lot of lags, stuttering, or even not be able to watch the stream at all because their device may not be able to pick up on all of the fidelity of your stream. Specifically for Twitch, I recommend only streaming at 720p 60 if you're not a partnered streamer, simply because this is going to give your viewer the best viewing experience. On YouTube, that is a completely different story. I'll also have this page linked as well, but this is the YouTube guidelines, and they're a lot looser than the Twitch guidelines. When you upload to YouTube, your videos will automatically get transcoded. This means that YouTube is going to provide your viewers the ability to watch your stream in a resolution other than the one that you're uploading to. At 1080p 60 at 12 megabits per second, and the viewer can watch this at 720p or 480p or 360p if they're on their phone. Streaming to YouTube will also give us the advantage of using our HEVC encoder. So first, let's quickly go ahead and set up our Twitch stream. I'm going to go ahead and maximize OBS Studio for a better viewing experience. Let's head over to our settings. Let's click on the Stream tab. Here we have the option to connect our account to OBS Studio. We can log in through here. However, if you don't want to do it this way, there is another way, and we can just enter our stream key. We leave our server at automatic. Let's head over to our Twitch creator dashboard. Here in the left-hand side menu, you want to click on Settings. Then you'll find the Stream button. From here, we copy our stream key. Careful not to show this to anybody, as they'll be able to stream onto your stream. Copy that stream key and paste it into OBS. Now we can hit apply. Okay, so with our stream key entered, we'll go back into our settings, the output. I'm going to change this from simple to advanced. Now that we're here, you want to make sure that your audio encoder is FFmpeg. You want to make sure that your video encoder is also FFmpeg VA API. This will use our GPU. For rescale, we're going to use bicubic. When I head down, make sure that your rate control is CBR. Your profile can stay high and your level should be auto. Bitrate, we're going to use 5530. And our keyframe interval should be 2. The reason we'll use 5530 is that this will actually fluctuate and hit 6,000. This way we're not going over 6,000. We'll hit apply. Under audio, should keep this at 160. I mentioned that you can do 320, but let's stick to the recommends. So now that this is set up, I'm going to go ahead and launch a game and give you an example. Okay, with Mega Man 11 running in the background, what we're going to do is capture that window. We're going to hit the plus button. We're going to go to window capture. Now ignore this for the moment because this is the plugin that we installed. This is not natively installed onto our Linux system yet. We're going to do just a basic capture. Window capture X composite. Okay. Select a window to capture. Now, since I'm on a different distribution in this one, we're using Fedora 41 with a Wayland session. If we click this plus button, we're not going to see that window capture. Instead, we're going to see screen capture pipewire. Come in here, you press OK, and then you'll be able to select your screens, or you'll be able to select individual applications. So that's how we'll do it here. Now, since that window itself is 1280 by 720p, if you'd like, right click the image, go to transform, hit the screen. Ideally, I'll be doing this with 2 monitors, but just for the sake of this example, we're going to have to fill it in this way. And I'm going to go ahead and click start streaming. It's starting to stream our gameplay to Twitch. What we can do here on our end also, head over to docs. I like to turn on the stats. I like to drag this over to the top in our docs so that we can see the information here. This will let you know if you're dropping any frames due to your bandwidth, or if you're dropping any frames due to your rendering. I'm going to turn on Mango HUD here. If your GPU usage is pegged at 99 to 100% the whole time, there will be moments where you get rendering or encoding lag. So that's one thing to be mindful of. Now, we're still streaming. Let's go ahead and check out our stream. So here's our stream on Twitch. You can see it looks really good. All right, so with that quick example out of the way, we can go ahead and stop this stream. So I know that a lot of people don't just stick a gameplay up there and stream it to Twitch. A lot of people like to put their overlays on. That's one thing I'm going to do here. Even though this is not something I prefer to do myself, I know that people do like to do this. So this is for you out there. First thing I'm doing is I'm adding an image here, and this is a 4K image. So I'm going to go ahead and fit the screen. Then we have my watermark on the top right hand side. Another thing we're going to do is go ahead and pick some overlays here that we're going to add from Stream Elements. This only requires using the browser. So we'll click browser, click OK. And here we're going to replace this, paste the link of the overlay, and we'll change this to our canvas resolution, 1920 by 1080. You can also choose to control the volume via OBS. And I'm not sure if this matters too much, but I'm going to make it 60. Let's go ahead and click OK. Close the status bar for the moment. We'll go ahead and test this. See that the alert's working. Let's go ahead and stream it again, and we can see it all working and how much resources we're all taking here. We've gone ahead and started the stream all over. Pull this off to the side, and let's give us some followers and tips. And you can see it playing on the stream. So this is an example with an overlay and our watermark image. I believe it's important to show the whole kit, as this gives a more realistic perspective as to how somebody would stream. Let's handle YouTube. Let's go ahead and create a new profile. We can call this one YouTube. And we can follow the same steps here as well. Optimize for streaming, recording is second. Just the same. And we're going to click YouTube RTMPS. We can once again connect our account or use the stream key. Again, I'm going to choose to use the stream key. You find the stream key by heading to your YouTube Studio, then going to the live stream feature. Keep this as automatic variable. Copy your stream key right here. Go ahead and paste it in. And let's go ahead and click next. It's going to do the same thing, estimate our bandwidth. But at this moment, you'll see that it actually started a live stream. We're going to have to end this one manually, or it will end after inactivity. The video bitrate is probably the more important number because it's going to let you know which resolution you should stream. If you're getting anything above 8,000, like I am here, 1080p will be a good stream. If you're getting anything below this, say around the 6,000, I'm going to recommend that you switch to 720p. I'm going to go ahead and apply the settings for now. As you can see, it's still prompting us to log in because it's going to give us our live control panel. I don't like doing this. I like to keep it separate. I'll close this panel. We'll head back into our settings, go into our output, and I'll go ahead and copy this number. Let's head over to advanced. Change this to FFmpeg. Let's change this HEVC. As we have the option to do this, this is going to give us a better quality. I'm on an RX 580 on the system, which does have an HEVC encoder. Keep it at main, level auto, make control CBR. Here, we'll paste in that value, 750. Frame interval 2. For our scale output, 1080p. Going ahead and changed everything to 1080p. Keep the bitrate at 160. Go ahead and hit OK. Now, as you may have noticed, it still has our same scene from our previous one. We can either create a new scene, or we can just go ahead and use this one. Let's go ahead and scene collection, duplicate. We'll call this one YouTube as well. The one thing that's going to change in our YouTube is the browser. As for our browser, go ahead and change this. Okay. For YouTube, I've went ahead and set up Streamlabs alert box. That one right here. Top. That one's different than the one we did for Twitch. Now with all that set up, let's just go ahead and hit start streaming. Come back to our dashboard. We'll see that giving us the connection. Excellent connection. I like to pause this to save on resources. And let's go ahead and open up a new. Okay, as you can see, we're streaming at 1080p 60 with our HEVC encoder to YouTube. Take a look at OBS. It's only using 9% of our CPU to do this. The rest is being offloaded onto our GPU. Do keep in mind that the more things you have in sources and themes, the more it will take up resources, right? And what you can do is you can actually check this out yourself after you streamed a bit. Check the quality for yourself and see how it plays out. Put a stop to the stream and make sure you end your stream and you know. You always want to see the streamed finish screen. So there we have it, streaming to Twitch and streaming to YouTube with our AMD graphics card. Now finally, what we're going to do is set up a recording profile. Now let's go ahead and create a new profile and let's call it recording. Go ahead and cancel the wizard as we'll head straight into the settings. Go into our video first and foremost and make sure that everything is at base resolution. We have 1080p, 60 FPS. Let's head into output. Here, let's go to advanced. And then let's head into recording. Keep it standard. Select where you want your files to go. Here we can select C or H.264. Just remember, the difference between these two is that H.264 is the standard. You're going to need more bitrate to make it look good, while HEVC will use less bitrate and look better doing it. However, you should just go ahead and test these for yourself and see which one you prefer. There are certain video programs that don't play nice with this. When I record videos, HEVC format, DaVinci Resolve doesn't seem to like that very much. So keep that in mind. Keep your editor in mind and the things you're going to do with these videos. For many cases, H.264 will work just fine. If you're on Radeon 7000 and better, you'll have the option for AV1 encoding. I unfortunately don't have a 7000 series card, so I won't be able to show you the options I would use there. We're going to stick to H.264 and H.265. Let's change this to FFmpeg AAC. We're not going to rescale. As for the rate control, there are many ways to do this. With CBR, your file size will come out a lot bigger because it is constant bitrate, so it's going to maintain that bitrate throughout the entire recording. However, if you go to variable bitrate, it's actually going to fluctuate the bitrate depending on the scene. If there's a scene with less detail, it's going to drop the bitrate where needed. And CQP is constant quality. I like to use CQP for mine, as I find it to be a good middle ground between the other two. For very high quality recordings, I like to go anywhere between 18 and 20. For a standard recording, I like to keep it at 22. And the reason I do this is because when you change your levels, it's actually going to change the amount of bit rate going into the recording. So you want to check this out for yourself. I'm going to give you an example of what this looks like here when we bring up the stats as we record. Keyframe interval of 2, and this is when I change the bit rate for audio at 320. I like to set up a hotkey for recording. This example, build a key. Let's go ahead and start the recording, and let's bring up the stats once again. As you can see, this is the bit rate that it's recording at. Notice the bitrate has gone up, or things were on screen. And once you're done recording, you can hit your hotkey, or you can go down and stop recording. We can check out the video. Backend for this is MPV, but we're gonna hit Shift and I, and we can see information about our recording. See the bitrate here. Do keep in mind, I am recording this footage from a capture card. This is footage is being recorded separately. One thing I will say is that a good sweet spot for these recordings for games, if you want to go constant bitrate, or if you want to dial in the bitrate for yourself, anywhere between 20 and 40 will give you a good quality recording. Now, this is something that you may find in your repository, and it is something that you may not find in your repository. For instance, on my Fedora system, it is in the repo. I would find it through the command line sudo dnf install OBS VK capture. You can see here on the AUR, it's known as OBS VK capture git, and it's available in the Flatpak. However, capturing games outside Flatpak runtime, you'll need the native build regardless if you're using Flatpak OBS or not. These are the dependencies it's going to need. Now, this is the portion of the video where it's going to get a little more technical. But all you have to do is just follow along, and this is really simple. The first thing we'll do is head over to releases and download the source code zip. Now that we have it downloaded, let's go ahead and extract it. Look inside the folder here. Go back to this website and follow the instructions. So in order for us to install OBS VK capture, we're going to need to make sure that our dependencies are met. And these dependencies are right here. So what we need to do is make sure we get all of these one by one. So here we're downloading CMake. So with CMake installed, the next item on the list is libobs. So we'll enter sudo apt install libobs-dev. Once that pops up, we hit yes. And we're done. And to make things easier, for the next three, we can actually just install them all together. We'll hit up on our D-pad to bring up the previously entered command, and we'll change libobs to Vulkan. libvulkan-dev, libgl-dev, libegl-dev. Enter. All of our dependencies are met here. So now we can go ahead and follow the next steps. Within the folder, right click and open in terminal. Let's go ahead and copy this line by line. And click paste, and we're going to make a directory. It's going to be build, and then we're going to go into our directory build. Now that we're in it, as you can see here, I'm going to ask CMake start compiling. Next step is we're going to need to enter sudo make install. Type in your password. Now that we have OBS VK Capture installed, what I did was I went ahead and closed Steam, and I'm going to reopen Steam. I'm also going to do the same thing with OBS. First thing I'll do is head back into Steam, and we're going to change the launch command on my Mega Man game here. We're just going to add OBS VK Capture to it. It's going to look something like this. Now, once we launch the game and head back into OBS, you'll see that with game capture enabled, the game is already displaying in OBS. You get rid of the original window capture, and we can go on from here. Under game capture, you can let it capture any window, which will probably be the best route to go, or you can capture a specific window. What are the advantages of using OBS VK game capture? It's going to give us a lower performance cost on the system the same way game capture works on Windows. The one unfortunate thing at the moment is that you would have to enter this launch command on the games that you're going to use. It could be a pain, but hopefully this will get fixed in the future. This is not just a Linux Mint thing. It's across all Linux distros that OBS VK Capture has to be installed. I had to install it from my main Fedora system as well. I hope you found this guide helpful. If so, consider giving the video a like to help YouTube share it with others. If you like more guides like this, be sure to subscribe for future updates. If you want to further your support, memberships and donation links will be in the description box below. I want to thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next one.